Algebra 1, number 3.10b, we're talking about using percent, and this is equations with percent. We can solve problems that contain percents by using a proportion, or by turning it into an equation and solving it. The wording of percentage problems can vary. Look at these. There's 6 statements, but they're only asking 3 things, because these 2 statements are the same, these 2 statements are the same, and these 2 statements are the same. What is 10% of 90 is the same thing as 10% of 90 is what number? What percent of 90 equals 9 is the same thing as 9 is what percent of 90? And 9 is 10% of what number? And 10% of what number equals 9? These are the same thing. So even though there's 6 statements here, 6 questions I should say, there's only 3 questions, really, because these are asking the same thing, these are asking the same thing, these are asking the same thing. Now, remember, I've got links in this description to other videos, and there's a link to my algebraic word problem playlist that's got 80 algebraic word problems in it that will really help you. There's every type in there, okay? 12% of 40 is what number? Well, we could also say, what is 12% of 40? What we need to do is turn this into a decimal. So we take away the percentage sign and put a decimal point in front of it, and then we multiply this 0.12 times the 40. When we do, there's 2 hops in the equation, so there's 2 hops in the answer, so it's 4.8 as our answer, okay? You're going to want to write these down, that if this is the question, if either one of these are the question, that is how you get the solution, okay? Let's try this one. What percent of 60 equals 12? It's the same thing as 12 is what percent of 60. We'll let P equal the percent, and we've got the percent times 60 equals 12. We can write it as 60P instead of P times the 60, can't we? 60P equals 12. We divide both sides by the coefficient 60. That becomes 60 over 60 is a 1, so it's just a P. And 12 over 60, we divide 60 into the 12 to turn it into a decimal, and we get 0.2 or 0.20 to write it as 20%. See? You're going to want to write these down, that this is how you solve it, okay? All right, let me move on, and I'll back away from the board when I'm all done so that you can freeze the video if you want, or you could freeze it now, okay? All right, so the next one, the next 2 questions that are identical is 24 is 20% of what number, or it could be written as 20% of what number is 24. Same question, just worded differently. What we do is we turn the 20% into a decimal by taking off the percentage sign and putting a decimal point in front of it, and you can actually see the equation in this. It would be 0.20 equals, or I'm sorry, 0.20n, and the is the equal sign. 0.20n equals 24. 0.20n equals 24. See that? And we can divide both sides by 0.20 to make this turn into our friend the invisible one because of identity property. So that's just an n, and 0.20 fits into 24 how many times? We move the decimal point over from the 20, so we have to move the decimal point over for the 24, and it becomes 2400. Now we just have 20 goes into 2400. We do our long division, and it comes out as 120. So we know n equals 120, okay? So either way that this is written, it's the same thing that they're asking, and that's how you would solve it, okay? All right, now there's popular percents that are used in math, and it's smart to have their equivalent fractions and decimals in our notes to use them quickly. So you can pause the video again right now as I'm going through each one of these and write all these down, because that'll help you, okay? All you have to do is divide the numerator by the denominator. For a half, how many times can 2 fit into a 1? So it's going to be 1.0, isn't it? It's 0.5, so a half is 0.5. So a half is 0.5 or 50%, 1/3 is 0.33, which repeats, which is 33 1/3%, a fourth is 0.25 or 25%, a fifth is 0.20 or 20%, a sixth is 1.66 with the 6 repeating, so it's 16 2/3%. 1/7 comes out as 0.1472857, which is approximately 14% when we round it off to the hundredths place, isn't it? An eighth is 0.125% or 12.5% or 12.5%. Either way you write this is okay. 1/9 is 0.11111, and the 1 keeps repeating, so it's approximately 11%. And 2/3 is 0.66, and the 6 keeps repeating, so that's approximately 66 and 2/3%. 3/4 is 0.75 or 75%. 3/8, 0.375 or 37.5%, or it could be written as 37.5%. And our last one down here, 5/8, is used a lot. That's 0.625. That is either 62.5% or 62.5%. Either way is okay. All right. There's some other popular ones like 7/8, 9/16, 7/16, and when you think about it, they're actually the size of tools. When you have a wrench, like a box wrench, and someone says, "Oh, can you give me that 9/16 box wrench?" Well, what is it in decimals? Okay. So this is very important to have written down, and any other ones that you think are important. And now I'm going to back away, and if you want to pause it, you can. You need to write this down and how to solve it, these down and how to solve it, and this down and how it was solved, okay? And that's going to come in handy for you when you're doing your percentage problems, all right? You'll be able to reflect back and say, that's how you solve that problem, okay? Whether it's asked either way, either question, all right? We're going to move on to 3.10c, and we're going to talk about percent increase and percent decrease in the next video. I hope you're doing okay. Keep your chin up. We're going to make it. Bye.